Hey guys, Camilo Cashflow here. Today I'm going to show you the easiest and quickest way how I run comparables on a property. And I'm going to use one example of one of my buyers that is selling a property 15901 Northwest 17th Court. This is one of my buyers that bought the property. He has it rented for the past 2 or 3 years. It's a 4-bedroom, 1-bath property, but in public records it shows us a 2-1. It has 1,728 total square feet, but living area has 1,398 square feet. So the first thing I do is I go on public records and I check and see a little bit about the property, what I can find on public records, and then I go to the MLS and I'm gonna show you guys the quickest way to run comparables and find the after repair value in less than 5 minutes. Obviously, I can run more detailed CMAs and I can go more into details about what's going on in the area and the neighborhood. But I want to show you, when I don't have too much time, what do I look for to show you how I find the comparables. So first of all, you need to be a licensed agent, or you need to have a licensed agent so you can use the MLS, and they have to either lend it to you, but you guys have to be together in person because they cannot just give you the password. That's illegal. But I'm showing you on my MLS how I do it. So the first thing I look for is I click here on active, and I look also for closed sales and pending sales. But now notice 0 to 180 days. I don't use 180 days. That's way too long of a period. I use 90 days. Why? Because, for example, these properties in Miami Gardens, and that area in Miami Gardens is really, really hot. So the comparables 6 months ago are not the same as right now. I click on single family and I click on single. Now, one of the things that most people do, and I don't agree with, or at least I don't do it, and it takes forever for them to do comparables, is that they start looking, and it's the right way to do it. You start comparing bedrooms to bedrooms, bathrooms and bathrooms, and a little bit of details. For example, if this is a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, I'm not going to start looking for 1-bedroom, 1-bath. I'm just going to see what the ideal 3-2 is looking for, and then I discount a little bit. If it's a 4-2, then I discount a little bit because this is a 3-1. So I adjust it down, knowing that it has one less bedroom. Or I can compare it to a 3-1, but I just want to see what the market is telling me in that specific area. So for that, I leave these empty. Total bedrooms and total bathrooms, because the average property is gonna be 3-2. Plus, if I leave it empty, it's gonna tell me the whole market, what's going on. So the next thing I do is I don't put pools, I don't put canal, I don't put waterfront, I don't put any of that stuff. I leave it empty, just closed sales, actives and pendings in the area. Now I go to map and I look by area. So this is a great tool that the MLS has. If I click here, it has these little box that it says jump to address. So I put the actual address, the subject address that I'm looking for. So 15901 Northwest 17th Court in Miami Gardens, and I type it. So it's gonna give me the specific location. Now, if you notice in the map, okay, I know specifically, I know where these areas located. And if you notice, one of the biggest mistakes that people do is they grab this tool, which is the radius, and they start clicking here as if they wanted to create a radius, and they do, for example, 1 mile radius. I'm gonna tell you what mistakes they do when they do this. Property in this box, if you notice the lot, the size of the lot, it's a very small type of property, and it's compared to just this specific block, this area right here. Anything across 167th Street, it's a way better area, and anything to the south of this area right here, which is Alibaba and all these areas in Miami, in Opa-locka, that's a really bad area. That's why the tools to do 1 mile radius or half a mile radius is a disaster. You're not gonna find the great comparables and the accurate comparables on the properties. So what I do is I delete the shape. One thing that people do is they can create a box and they can highlight all of these. Why? Because this is Bunch Park in Opa-locka and Miami Gardens. This is very similar, this side to that side. Northwest 22nd divides a little bit, but Northwest 22nd Avenue to the west, it's a little more expensive and a better area, a better location than to the east. So what I do is I delete this shape and I only focus on this specific block. And if you notice, the properties on this area are a little smaller than the properties in this area. Actually, I believe that these properties are actually commercial properties, so they don't even apply. So what I do is I create a perfect rectangle because it's a perfect shape. And if you notice, I'm just talking about this specific area. When I see on Bing or Google Maps yellow streets, those are main streets. I try not to go across yellow streets because those are major streets and the market can change. It can shift from one street to the other, which, by the way, if you go to this specific area, properties are much cheaper in this area than what I'm looking for. So right here, I'm only looking at these type of properties, these areas right here. Now, this is everything that is active, which is the yellow ones, everything that's on pending, which is the orange ones, and everything that's closed, which is the blue ones. So a 4-1, I'm gonna try to compare to 3 2s, and I'm also gonna compare it to 3 1s. Okay, then I go to results, and over here I can have a better idea. The first thing I look for, if you notice this column, it has the available properties from line 9 to 15. It has the closed sales, and the 16 to 21, it has the pending sales. The first thing I look at right away is the closed sales, the most expensive closed sales that have sold over the last 90 days. Why do I look at the most expensive ones? Because I guarantee you 100%, let me say 99% of the time, the most expensive properties that have closed were flipped by somebody, an investor who bought it, fixed it up, and is beautifully renovated. And let me share with you an example. So 270 is the closest sale. So right away, I can tell you the comps. I grab the first 3 and I average them out. So the first comp, the most expensive one is 282, the second expensive one is 270, and the third most expensive one is 256. Now notice my property is a 4-1. Okay, public record shows us a 2-1. So a great example would be to compare it to a 3-1. So I would average it to 256 if it was completely renovated. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you one by one out of these 3 or 4 examples that have closed, and then we'll talk about that. So this one for 270, it was listed for 299. It was listed for 299. Then it got dropped to 289. And the sales price ended up being 270. So this is a 3-2, 1,400 square feet. And I'm gonna show you that it was completely remodeled without even looking at the pictures. And if you see here, you can tell that it was completely renovated. It was a cheap renovation, no granite countertops, only for mica. It was a cheap bathroom, it's actually not modern, but it's very, very clean. Anybody can be proud of buying this home. But it was a cheap flip, a cheap renovation, as far as I can see in the pictures. All right, so I just go back to results. So that's the one that sold for 350. Now it's a 3-1 for a good size, 1,400 square feet. If I go here to the second one, this is more modern. If you can tell, it's yellow. Sorry, it's using the gray colors, which is a little bit more modern. White kitchen, granite countertops. It has a fence, which is good, so it's enclosed, and it's wide open. It has an open concept, central AC, nice beautiful wood floors in the bedrooms. When you walk in, it's nice and open. Laminate floors, which is beautiful. I mean, it is a good renovation. It's not top of the line, which if you can see here, they use the same original doors. They didn't replace them. They use the cheap doorknobs, and they didn't even change the texture in the roof, in the ceiling, and the windows are the original ones. But at least it's a much more modern renovation than the other one. If you can see in this picture, they did not change the floors here, so they did cut some corners, but at the end of the day, I think it's a good flip, and I think it's a good idea for a property that sold for $282,500. Original listing price was $289. It got dropped to $282. And what else can I tell you? It's 1,581 square feet. Now the third one is a 3-1. It sold for $256, and it's also in Bunch Park. And again, it's already renovated. If you can see, this is probably the nicest one out of the 3. It has brand new windows, new roof, brand new paint outside and inside. It has beautiful landscaping, nice and clean, nice driveway, and it seems like he has wall units for AC. Let's see if he has wall units. If he has central AC, seems like he either was staged. I wouldn't stage a property like this, not with birds and everything, so I would assume somebody was living there. But it was a nice, beautiful property. It's in good condition. It's modern. It doesn't have granite countertops, and it's a small kitchen actually. But long story short, is a 3-1, beautiful bathroom. I mean, this is perfect for a lower income property, a low income family that wants to live in this area as a 3-1. And I'm talking about this because it sold for $256. Now the other ones that sold for $130 and $135, I guarantee you these are not renovated. If you can see here, they're ugly, only one picture. And if you can look at the remarks, unapproved short sale, contingent upon approval. So what that means is the most expensive properties are the flips, and the least expensive properties are the ones that are for flippers too, so they can buy, fix and sell, and buy, fix and rent. So I would say the subject property, this specific property, was, if it was in great condition, I would list it for about 270, 275, maybe even 265. But I would say 250 is a great ARV because this is a perfect comparable that sold for 256. Is a 3-1 with 1,300 square feet. Although the subject property, it's 1,400 square feet, just a tiny bit bigger. So that's it. Now that's as far as looking at the closed sales, which is gonna tell me the whole story about the property and the real comparables. So I look at the active and the pending just to see what people are thinking, just to see what's in the market right now. So for example, this one pending sale in Bunch Park, somebody had the courage to put this property for $319. It's a 4.2, 1,600 square feet. This must be beautiful. Oh yeah, you can see it's a newer construction, of course. It's a newer construction, completely renovated. And it's a beautiful property. So that's why it was going for $319. $299 is a 5.2. This is actually on pending sale. Also renovated, brand new kitchen, new windows, new floors, new granite countertops, new everything. So this is a great comparable, but it doesn't compare to mine because one, it's on pending sale, and two, it's a 5.2. Mine is a 4.1 or a 3.1, and it's much bigger. There's another one listed for $300, which is a 4.2, and it's already on pending. Now, as far as actives are concerned, we're talking about 280, 272, 269, 267. Guys, I'm giving you this video, which is a little longer than I take to look at the after repair values, but this is just an example, and that's exactly how I run comparables. If I want to do something quick, if I want to do something like in a rush, and if I want to have like an idea of what the ARV is, I don't get too complicated. I don't start looking at let's compare 3.1s to 3.1s. Let's compare pool with no pool. Let's compare with 2-car garage to no car garage. Let's compare if my property is 1,400 square feet. Let's only compare properties that only have also 1,400 square feet. I try to keep it simple, guys. I try to keep it, show me everything that is selling, and don't go across the main streets. That's a big plus here. That's a big thing here in these type of properties. So I'm gonna feel comfortable telling you guys that the ARV, the after repair value on this property, is about 260 if it's completely renovated, 260, 265 if it's completely renovated, and I'm gonna say it's about 240 if it's like in as-is condition, original floors, original kitchens, or original bathrooms, for a retail buyer, for somebody that wants to move in and live in the house and get an FHA or conventional loan. Now, if this was for a cash buyer, for an investor that wanted to buy this property, they need to buy it for much lower. And the reason why I'm doing these comparables is because one of my clients called me saying, hey Camilo, I bought this property from you about 2.5 years ago. I got it rented. I moved to Palm Beach, and now I want to sell it. Would you list it for me? I said, of course, not a problem. I can list it and I can sell it for you, but let me do the homework and let me run the numbers real quick. And he's asking me, how much do I think I can sell it for? So guys, that's just an example, just an idea of what I look for and how I can find the ARVs, which is a very common term in the real estate business. There's three numbers that you need in the real estate business. You need the purchase price, you need the amount of repairs, and you need the ARV. And this is how I find ARVs very quickly. Now, if you want to go more in detail, you can go more in detail. You can look for more properties. You can use the adjustments. You can use specific square footage, specific bedrooms, bathrooms, etc. Or you can actually call an appraisal and spend $450 for a professional opinion on how much the property is worth. And with that report, you can refinance on the property or you can sell it, because now you know that the property appraised for that. So when you turn in the appraisal report to the realtor who's selling your property, then it's much easier for you to get the numbers and the value of how much the property is worth. But this is an example on how you find an ARV in less than 2 or 3 minutes. Guys, I'll see you next time. Hope to see you soon. Comment and like and share this video below if you like the information that I just shared and if it's something valuable for you or your business. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.